has been taken by DPIIT in terms of the facilitations and the consultations and how the provisions have been, facilitative provisions have been incorporated. So I will start with the regulatory provisions related to the availability of fuel and gas to the industry. And under Petroleum and Explosive Safety Organization, PESO, multiple activities and facilitative orders have been issued, which are oriented towards uninterrupted supply of fuel and gas. So under this, under compressed natural gas and compressed biogas, the dispensing stations, the licenses, the process have been expedited, and now till now we can say in the month of March until date 467 applications have been received and disposed of, and on a priority basis, bringing down the turnaround time. And also 157 cases, the final licenses have also been granted, and 38 prior approvals have also been granted in these dispensing stations. Thereafter, 41 biogas cylinder filling and storage plants have been granted the approval, and also the 14 plants, the license have been provided. In the light of demand for kerosene, the temporary relaxations or storage relaxations have been granted for superior kerosene oil storage up to 2,500 liters, and a one-time relaxation for 5,000 liters for PDS kerosene has been given for ensuring last mile continuity. And the domestic availability of ammonium nitrate has been secured by imposing a ban on the exports in the month of March. Thereafter, the LNG filling in the cryogenic cylinders, the guidelines have been now permitted so that the decentralization of LNG supply can be ensured, and which has ensured and enhanced the flexibility of fueling during the disruptions. Further, PESO has also issued directions for time-bound disposal of applications of CNG stations and decompression units for fast tracking, and today the time is even less than 10 days. And for immediate supply constraints, the permissions have also been granted for LPG unloading at Porbandar jetty in the month of March. For transparency, the PESO container manufacturers, the list has been shared and in the public domain for the users to take up and has been uploaded on the website. A temporary 6-month exemption has also been provided for requirements of CNG or CBG compressors for fast track dispensation. As a long-term initiatives, the guidelines which has been, there are 5 critical steps which has been taken. The installation of district pressure regulating skids or DPRS at CNG and CBG stations have been, the guidelines have been issued. So this has addressed the land constraints, and it has expanded the gas dispensing infrastructure. Further, the permission for filling of LNG in the cryogenic cylinders has been provided for into remote and the non-pipeline areas. And approvals have also been granted for combination valves and the pressure relief valves for dimethyl ether in jumbo cylinders, and after the successful trial and to facilitate its use. The nighttime operations have been permitted, especially for LPG bottling plants, for increasing the operational working hours and bringing flexibility. And the commissioning permission has also been granted to Petronet LPG for an additional 5 MMTPA regasification capacity at the Dahej terminal, which has increased the storage capacities. Thereafter, for boilers, from the boilers side, in terms of facilitation and giving measures to reduce the oil consumption at the plants, the advisories have been issued by the government to all the state governments under subsection 3 of the Boilers Act for giving a 3-month extension of the boiler certificates which are due for renewal for high capacity boilers, so that the verification parameters and based on the satisfactory external inspection, 3 months extension can be granted. And further, for the boiler certificate for high capacity boilers in major oil and gas units, also a 3-month temporary extension has been granted, which includes refineries, petrochemicals and fertilizer plants based on fulfilling certain criteria. And the diversification of in fuel usage has also been promoted to encourage adoption and use of alternative fuels across the industrial sectors. In terms of for domestic cooking, the induction cooktop cooking for in this sector, as there was demand which was raised by the industry, given in the light of the current surge in the demand, a stakeholder consultation was held in DPIIT in coordination with various further agencies, Ministry of Power and other identified institutes for addressing the demand and supply challenges, where the mandatory energy efficiency and the QCO timelines for induction cooktops have been extended, and corresponding amendments have also been issued to facilitate faster manufacturing and increase in the production capacities. Related to paint industry, which are I will now take you through the sectors which are with DPIIT. In paint industry, after the industrial consultations and the joint working group, the meeting in the requirement of the paint industry of various fuel and various raw materials and feedstock was taken, and under which the BCD has already been reduced to zero for HDPE, LLDPE, PPCN, which are basic ingredients required for paint in the industry. Further, the allocation of industrial LPG has also been enhanced from 50% to 70%, and thereafter the various raw materials which is required for in this paint industry in terms of butyl acrylate and their availability has also been now facilitated by the refineries, and the buyers also have been touch based with the concerned producers. The allocation industry-wise requirement of petrochemical raw materials and the packaging material for the paints industry specifically has also been furnished, and the tie-ups have been done for ensuring uninterrupted supplies. The QC on butyl acrylate has also been relaxed by Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals for the period up to 10th of July to facilitate the domestic availability. With regard to the paper industry, another critical chemicals of the BCD such as the styrene, methanol and ABS, the BCD has been relaxed, ensuring the diversification of the supplies. With respect to the tire industry, the BCD and the BCD on various chemicals have been relaxed, polybutadiene, styrene, butadiene rubber and resins which is available now, and even the road tape for tires was restored in consultation by the Department of Commerce. For glass industry, the uninterrupted furnace operations was becoming a challenge, so thereafter in consultation with MOPNG, the availability of PNG at 80% of the average consumption of the previous 6 months have been ensured and notified, and the allocation of the industrial LPG was also enhanced from 50% to 70% based on their pre-March requirement. In leather and footwear industry, the basic the BCD on critical inputs such as EVA, PVC, PU, SBS have been reduced to zero, and for price escalation and the supply shortage of the PVC based resin and other issues which has come up in the recent stakeholder consultations have also been referred for removal of anti-dumping or for abeyance of anti-dumping duty to DGTR, which is under for consideration. In terms of ceramic industry, for Morbi, 80% of the ceramic units which were using the LPG or the propane, and only 20% were using the piped natural gas supplies before March. So thereafter, and the Gujarat Gas Supply is the main supplier over there. So accordingly, in consultation with the industry stakeholders, for MOPNG, the notification was made for about 80% availability of their last 6 months consumption, and thereafter the Gujarat State Petroleum Corporation have held multiple consultations with the industry and have also facilitated the supply arrangements for the remaining 80% of the units which were not previously using the piped gas, and the issue of the gas pricing disparities which was also cropping up has also been addressed through the rationalization for all the users, in both existing and the new users of the gas, to ensure the supplies and the function of the units. So thank you so much. This is what we have.
थैंक यू निधि। हमारा क्रूड, एलपीजी और नेचुरल गैस इंपोर्ट अफेक्ट हुआ है, परंतु भारत सरकार ने कई इफेक्टिव स्टेप्स लिए हैं ताकि एलपीजी का पीएनजी, पेट्रोल और डीजल की सप्लाई सुचारू रूप से की जा सके और कंज्यूमर्स को कम से कम परेशानी का सामना करना पड़े। इसके चलते मैं आपको ये बताना चाहूँगी कि डोमेस्टिक एलपीजी की सप्लाई नॉर्मल है और किसी भी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर पर कोई ड्राई आउट रिपोर्टेड नहीं है। लगभग 94% सिलेंडर्स की डिलीवरी ऑथेंटिकेशन कोड के द्वारा की जा रही है। कल 45 लाख के करीब बुकिंग हुई, जिसके सापेक्ष लगभग 51 लाख डोमेस्टिक एलपीजी सिलेंडर्स की डिलीवरी की गई है। कमर्शियल एलपीजी जैसा आप जानते हैं सप्लाई अफेक्टेड है, परंतु भारत सरकार ने इसकी सप्लाई को 70% रिस्टोर किया है। इसके चलते अप्रैल के महीने में लगभग 1,31,000 टन, जो कि लगभग 69 लाख 19 किलो के सिलेंडर्स के बराबर है, की सेल की गई है। इसके अलावा कल के एक दिन में 8,199 टन कमर्शियल एलपीजी की सेल की गई है। 5 किलो के सिलेंडर्स 23 मार्च से लेकर अब तक लगभग 20 लाख से अधिक सिलेंडर्स की सेल की जा चुकी है। इसके अलावा कल लगभग 80,000 से अधिक 5 किलो के सिलेंडर्स की सेल की गई थी। इसके साथ साथ माइग्रेंट लेबर्स तक ये 5 किलो के सिलेंडर्स को आसानी से पहुंचाया जा सके, इस उद्देश्य से ऑयल मार्केटिंग कंपनीज लगातार कैंप लगा रही हैं और 3 अप्रैल से लगभग 7,800 ऐसे कैंप लगाए जा चुके हैं और इन कैंप्स में जो सिलेंडर्स की सेल हुई है उसकी संख्या लगभग 1,17,000 है। कल भी 350 कैंप लगाए गए और इन कैंपों में 8,100 से अधिक 5 किलो के सिलेंडर्स की सेल की गई। नेचुरल गैस के संबंध में जैसा आप जानते हैं भारत सरकार का जोर है कि अधिक से अधिक लोग पीएनजी पर शिफ्ट हों। इसके चलते मार्च के महीने से लेकर अब तक 5,10,000 नए पीएनजी 5,10,000 पीएनजी कनेक्शंस को गैस दी गई है। इसके अलावा 2.5 लाख से अधिक कनेक्शंस के लिए इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट किया गया है। तो ये संख्या अगर इन दोनों को मिलाएं तो लगभग 7,66,000 के करीब होती है। इसके अलावा 5,77,000 ऐसे नए कस्टमर्स हैं जो अभी रजिस्टर हुए हैं। इसी तरह रिटेल आउटलेट्स पर भी कोई ड्राई आउट नहीं है और सप्लाईज नॉर्मल है। क्रूड इन्वेंट्रीज मेंटेन है, सफिशिएंट क्रूड इन्वेंट्रीज आर अवेलेबल। रिफाइनरीज ऑप्टिमम कैपेसिटी पर ऑपरेट हो रही है। पेट्रोकेमिकल, फार्मा और केमिकल कंपनीज की ज़रूरत को देखते हुए जैसा आप जानते हैं कि कुछ C3C4 मॉलिक्यूल्स को इन कंपनी को एलोकेट किया गया लगभग 1,000 टन पर डे और 9 अप्रैल से अब तक लगभग 5600 टन प्रोपिलीन की सेल हो चुकी है। एनफोर्समेंट भी जारी है। कल लगभग 3,200 रेड हुई और जिसमें 285 सिलेंडर सीज किए गए। इसी तरह surprise inspections by oil marketing companies is also continuing to check any malpractice, hoarding or diversion. So अंत में मेरी सभी लोगों से ये प्रार्थना है कि हमारे पास sufficient stock है, चाहे वो LPG है, चाहे पेट्रोल है या डीजल है। कृपया पैनिक बाइंग से बचें और अफवाहों पर विश्वास न करें। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Shipping Minister.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon. Ministry of External Affairs continues to closely monitor developments in the Gulf and West Asia region. Our efforts are focused on ensuring the safety, security and welfare of the large Indian community in the region. We are in close touch with the state governments and union territories to share information and coordinate our efforts. The dedicated special control room in the ministry is operational to respond to queries from Indian nationals and their families. Our missions and posts in the region are operating round-the-clock helplines to provide timely assistance. They are proactively assisting our citizens. They are also in close touch with the local governments. Updated advisories are being issued, including information related to local government guidelines, flight and travel situation, consular services, and the various welfare measures being undertaken for the community. Our missions are actively engaged with the resident Indian community, including the various Indian community organizations, associations, professional groups, and Indian companies to address their concerns. We are according high priority to the welfare of Indian seafarers in the region. Our missions are extending all assistance to them, including coordination with the local authorities and agencies, extending consular assistance and assisting for requests to return to India. The overall flight situation continues to improve with additional flights operating from the region to various destinations in India. Since February 28th, around 11,91,000 passengers have travelled from the region to India. Airlines continue to operate limited commercial flights based on operational and safety considerations between UAE and India. Today, around 110 flights are expected to operate from UAE to India. Flights are operating from various airports in Saudi Arabia and Oman to different destinations in India. Qatar airspace is partially open. Qatar Airways is operating flights to various destinations in India. Kuwait airspace remains open. Jazeera Airways and Kuwait Airways continue to operate non-scheduled commercial flights from Dammam Airport of Saudi Arabia to various destinations in India. Bahrain airspace is open. Gulf Airways is operating flights from Bahrain to various destinations in India. Iraq airspace is open with limited flight operations to destinations in the region which can be used for onward travel to India. Iran airspace remains partially open for cargo and chartered flights. Our embassy in Tehran continues to facilitate movement of Indian nationals through Armenia and Azerbaijan for onward travel to India. Israel airspace is open and limited flight operations have resumed to destinations in the region which can be used for onward travel to India. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we take questions.
Clarification. News is spreading about the reported payment by the captain of vessel Sanmar Herald in USD to the persons claiming to represent the IRGC Navy to grant a right of passage and fell victim to cyber criminals. So we spoke with the owner of the vessel and he confirmed that it is a fake news and no such incident had happened. So this is a clarification. Then the ministry continues to coordinate with the Ministry of External Affairs, Indian missions and maritime stakeholders to ensure seafarer welfare and uninterrupted maritime operations. And no incident involving Indian flag vessels has been reported in the last 24 hours, and our seafarers are safe in Persian Gulf region. The Indian flag crude oil tanker, that is Desh Garima, which crossed safely on 18th of March, is likely to reach Mumbai today evening, and it is carrying 31 Indian seafarers. The shipping control, the control room has handled around 7,200 calls and about 15,000 emails since its activation, and in past 24 hours, 156 calls and 344 emails have been received. The ministry has facilitated the safe repatriation of more than 2615 Indian seafarers so far, including 25 in last 24 hours. Port operations across India remains normal and no congestion reported. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ranjit ji.